Thank you. So number 40 says find f of c using synthetic substitution. So you want to find f of negative 3 using synthetic substitution. In synthetic substitution, your remainder is the answer. So no powers are missing, so you have 1, 6, 10, and 3. Very good with the negative 3. Bring that down. Very good. You get a remainder of 0. So f of negative 3 equals 0. Do you agree with that? Yes.
Which ones are we supposed to just plug in for calculator? Because that's all I did. Because that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
You're not doing that for these. If it says synthetic substitution, you'll do synthetic division. You talking about if I said f of 5? I'm just trying to, like in the past, we've been doing f of 5, just direct substitution. I was trying to compare the two. So on these, if it says synthetic, you're going to have to do synthetic division, okay? All right, number 41. All the powers are there. You got 4. Bring the 2 down. 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 4. F of 4 equals 39. Do you agree? Good deal. 42. 2 times 1 is 2. 16, 2. And I agree with the negative 48. Are there any questions? Yes.
Okay, so for synthetic division, the answer is going to be like the polynomial?
Yes, but for these, you just put the remainder. Very good question. She said for synthetic division, you write all of it out. Yes, but for synthetic substitution, just the remainder. Are we good on that? Okay. I want to apologize. I didn't realize there's 2 number 17s on the paper. But I wanted you to do 17, 18 right here, the equations. I'm sorry for the misnumbering up here. There's 2. Sorry about that. 17 and 18 right here. Okay. So we're looking at this 17 and 18 right here. Okay, we're going to do these 2 together. That's all right. It's my fault. So I'm not grading it today. Yes, we will have a homework check tomorrow. So you need to have it done by tomorrow. Yeah, it's right here, buddy. 17 and 18. I'm about to work them out slowly for you. All right. So let's look at number 17. We need to recognize that 27 and 1 are perfect cubes. Okay? So when you solve a perfect cube, your resulting answer, well, when you factor, is going to be a what? First you're going to have a binomial and then a what? Trinomial. Okay? So we've got a binomial and a trinomial. What's the cube root of 27? What's the cube root of 1? 1. Okay, we're going to worry about signs in a minute. Now what goes here? How do you get this first number of the trinomial? Square the first one. What do you do with these 2? And then square the what? Last. So, same, opposite, always positive. Now I'm going to set that equal to 0. When I do that, I get x equals negative 1/3. Now, what type of function is this? Quadratic. My first line of defense is to try to do what? Factor. If I can't factor, I'm forced to use the what? Can I factor that? No. So here we go. Opposite of b, plus or minus negative 3 squared minus 4 times 9 times 1. All over 2 times 9. 3 plus or minus 9 minus 36 over 18. What's 9 minus 36, class? Negative 27. I can break 27 down to 9 times 3. I have a group of 3's. I'm going to bring that out. How will I combat that negative sign? What can I take out of this number, and this number? 3. So I'm left with 1 plus or minus I square root of 3 over 6. So my answers are x equals negative 1/3 and x equals 1 plus or minus I square root of 3 over 6. How many answers do I have here? 3. How many is the maximum number I could have? 3. Yes, Tyler.
So to get the second term in the trinomial, you multiply the two terms?
Yes. Yes. Look
If
at,
you were to like do 27x cubed and then subtract the 1, what would that be?
it's gonna get real messy. All right, number 18. Binomial. Oh. And a trinomial. What's the these are both perfect cubes. Cube root of x cubed is? Cube root of 125 is? What do I do with the first one? Square it, then do what? Multiply and do what with the last? Square. Same, opposite, always positive. X minus 5 equals 0, x equals 5. Can I factor that quadratic? No. So opposite of b plus or minus 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times 25 all over 2 times 1. 25 minus 100 over 2. I can break 75 down to 25 times 3. Have a group of 5s. How do I combat that negative under it? Bring a what out? Can I simplify that? No. So x equals negative 5 plus or minus 5i root 3 over 2. So I got 3 answers. 1, 2, 3. Are there any questions on sum of cubes and difference of cubes? Yes.
So on the first term of the trinomial,
You square the first term. Then you multiply them together and square the last.
okay, so you take the first term of the binomial and just square it.
Exactly. Up here, 3x squared is 9x squared. Are there any other questions? Yes.
So you square the 5 before it's negative, so that would always be like a positive number.
Well, yes. Well, you don't think of the signs. You always do the SOAP, so that's for signs. You just square the 5, yes. Yeah. All right, let's turn back to page 17, yes. Yeah, we'll talk about it in just a minute, yes. Yeah, your homework tonight is the 19 to 27. That's at the bottom of the page, okay? That's equations. It's just more, you got, how many problems, 5 or 6? How many is it? 5, okay? It's going to be at that bottom with the equations, just like where we did, what we just did those two at, okay? All right, now let's look at, we're going to continue at 4 examples, page 17. We're going to continue looking at polynomial. Yesterday we looked at cubic, now we're going to look at quartic. Quartic. We're on page 17.
Quartic just split its center.
Um,
It's kind of like doing a binomial.
It's kind of sort of, yeah. Like on number 7 right here, is that problem set equal to 0? Yes, just looking at it, what do you think you could do first?
Take out the x squared.
Very good, that's exactly what you do. Take out the x squared. Alright, then look inside that parentheses. Can you factor that? Yes, that's x plus 7 and x plus 3. Now find the zeros. Well, if I set x squared equal to 0, x equals what? 0. X plus 7 equals 0, x equals negative 7. X plus 3 equals 0, x equals negative 3. It was a quartic. The maximum number of zeros I could have was 4, but how many do I have? 3. What? I want you to think of. Which one of these is being counted twice? Because you said multiplicity. You know how we talk about graphing? That's actually it's bumping the graph, isn't it? So that's why you have up to 4, but you only see 3 because there's a multiplicity there. Okay, but you don't have to put that. That's just, I'm trying to tie it all in together. All right, number 8. Is it set equal to 0? So I'm going to do x4 plus 11x squared plus 18 equals 0. Now, what does that look like very similar to? Quadratic, easy quadratic factoring. You like an x squared with coefficient 1 on it. Well, you can treat, if it's like that, you can treat it like that. Like, it's got to multiply to give you 18, add to give you 11. What two numbers do that? 9 and 2. Now, normally we would put an x right there. What do you think we would put since it's x to the 4th? There you go. So I have x squared plus 9 equals 0. X squared plus 2 equals 0. Now, I know those cannot be factored. I know that. And you know that as well, don't you? And normally we use quadratic, but when I told you, if you have something easy like that, you have to do quadratic formula. No, we can just move the 9 over. When you take the square root of something, you got to worry about what? Plus or minus 3i. Sorry, that keeps focusing. Let me lock it. Alright. And move this 2 over, it becomes a negative 2. Well, I don't know the square root of negative 2, but I can take an I out and put plus or minus. So I have 4 answers. If I was to graph that quartic, would you see it cross the x-axis at any time? No. Every unit we do for a while, guys, you know, like right now we're studying the polynomial. We talked about the graphs first, and then we did equations. That's pretty much how it goes for these functions. Next one, we're going to do exponential, and then do exponential equation. Then logarithms, then logarithmic equations. It's always a graphical aspect of it and the equation side of it. Alright, these are real easy because you know how to factor by grouping. Factor by group, I have how many terms here? 4. So I'm going to group the first 2 and the last 2. What type of function is this? Cubic. So I'm going to take an x squared out first. That leaves me an x plus 3. I'm going to take a 4 out. That leaves an x plus 3. Is that a train I hear?
No, it's good.
Oh. Okay, guys. I tried to do Kahoot one time, and I wish Kahoot with math was easy to do Kahoot. But you know how long it takes to type all those equations and stuff in? It's a situation, so that's why we don't do Kahoot. Aye, Captain, I'll work on that. I just like giving you a hard time, Jackson. I could do that. I'll work on that. I thought you would laugh on that when I did that. You took that personally, didn't you? I'm so sorry. You need to go see a counselor? Okay. Alright, here we go. You know I'm just picking, don't you, Jackson? Okay, thank you. Alright, so this x plus 3 equals 0. That would just be negative 3. That is not different squares. You cannot factor that. Normally you would be forced to do quadratic, but we could do it the easy way. X squared equals negative 4. When you take the square root, x equals plus or minus 2i. Just hold on with me. I know you're bored because these are easy. Number 10. How many terms do we have? 4. What can I take out of the first one? X squared. That leaves a 2x minus 1. Here I take a negative 3 out. Leaves a 2x minus 1. So I have x squared minus 3 and 2x minus 1 equals 0. Set both of them equal to 0. Since this is easy, that's not different squares, you cannot factor that. Take the square root. When you take the square root, you do plus or minus. And then 2x minus 1 equals 0. X equals 1/2. Why don't y'all do number 11 on your own? And then we'll go over it and then you can work on your homework. Well, my, this became the easiest one on the page. Coming up to three pretty numbers. Yes, son?
Just put x equals plus minus.
Yes, that's fine. Yes, Doug.
What happens if you get something right? Hold you one where it would match.
You can check your work once you're done up here with mine. If you get your correct answers, then you can start working on your 5 problems for homework. It's -3, 3, and -1, yes. You got a good 8 minutes, so don't put anything up.